Skylar Spindler, she has your forecast on the 6th.
It's a little foggy outside as we're looking at the sky cam around Providence, so you can kind of see just how rough that visibility is. About a quarter of a mile around the Providence area, but if you're heading up towards Pawtucket, we're looking at no visibility. Same with Newport right now, so any of these darker red areas that you see here, that's very limited visibility. Quarter of a mile in New Bedford around Taunton. So and give yourself a little extra time if you're heading out on the roadways this morning, if you're getting ready to make that commute or do anything this morning if you're getting out the door this morning. So here's a look at the satellite and radar over the last couple hours. We had some of these rain showers and thunderstorms start to move through, but most of the thunderstorms stayed to the north of us in the overnight hours. And here's what we have on the live radar. So just some rain right along the Mass Turnpike. So, not too bad right now. Newport sitting at 69 degrees. Winds are pretty calm this morning. And so what we're expecting as we start to head through the day today, that we have some light rain showers and some heavier at times start to move through this morning. And then we'll get some clearing as we head into the lunchtime hour. So as this round exits off, we got another round behind it that's going to start to move through. We'll get a little bit of afternoon heating, and we'll see some of these thunderstorms pop up as we head into the 4, 5, 6 o'clock hour. Now, as the sun starts to go down, a lot of that fizzles out, and we'll be left with just some leftover light showers here and there that'll be popping up around the area. But most of us will be clearing up into the evening hours. So for today, we'll keep the temperatures in those upper 70s and some low 80s around the area. It's going to be very humid throughout the day today, and those scattered thunderstorms and rain showers throughout the day today. New Bedford, here's your 4-day forecast. It's humid for the next 4 days. You're expecting those upper 70s for today and tomorrow. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny, though, so that's some good news. And then by Thursday, still not too bad, but the rain starts to move back in towards the weekend. So for the rest of your 4-day forecast, you're looking pretty good. I'm going to have your 7-day forecast coming up here in just a moment.
All right, Skylar, thank you. New this morning at 6:08 overnight, Philadelphia authorities taking forecast with meteorologist Skylar Spindler.
Well, we've been watching the radar loop over the last couple hours, and we had some heavier rounds of rain and storms that started to move through, but by the time they got to the Rhode Island area, most of it just dwindled out, and the other parts of it just stayed to the north of us. So radar right now, not too bad, just some rain showers just north of the Mass Turnpike, heading on over towards Norwood, up towards Boston, but visibility is the biggest concern right now as we're looking around the area. We're looking at no visibility around Newport, so any of these little red areas, these darker red areas you see here, there's really limited visibility at all. So heading up to Providence, about a quarter of a mile to Pawtucket, no visibility there. Anywhere around Rhode Island, really just looking at that limited visibility, even over to New Bedford, Taunton area. So if you're heading out the door, give yourself a little bit more time just because you can't see a thing. So what we're expecting for today, we have this flood watch that's in effect for us for the entire day. Now the ground is really saturated, so we've got a lot of rain and thunderstorms that are going to move through the area throughout the day today. We can expect some heavy downpours, so the biggest issue with this is the water has nowhere to go. The ground's saturated, so water could start to pool on the roads. So just give yourself a little more time if you get caught in some of these downpours today as we head through the day. Here's what it looks like outside in Providence. Can't see a thing through this sky cam right now. 69 degrees. Winds are out of the northeast at 6 miles an hour. Most of us around the area are about 70 degrees. So a couple of those upper 60s now, but still most of us sitting around that 70-degree mark. And if you're heading up to Boston, it's 67 there. So today what we're expecting, it's going to be very humid throughout the day today. We got those scattered rain showers and thunderstorms that'll be moving through the day. We're expecting that to finally die down as we head into the evening hours. But temperature-wise, will keep us in those upper 70s and low 80s for the high. And those winds will stay fairly light, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. I'm going to have more details in your forecast coming back up here in just a moment.
And now to our special coverage of
Well, visibility is a big concern this morning as you're getting up. Maybe you're heading to the parade this morning. You're getting out the door. Give yourself a little more time wherever you're going because we have a lot of limited visibility around Pawtucket down to Providence and Newport. So we're looking at no visibility in Newport. Heading over to New Bedford area about a quarter of a mile. So any of these areas in between, we're looking really at about less than a quarter of a mile visibility through a lot of these areas, even down by Westerly, a quarter of a mile. So again, just give yourself a little time if you're heading out on the road. So here's what the live radar is looking like right now. So we've got a line of storms that's traveling right along the Mass Turnpike. You can kind of just see how this is moving across up towards Boston area. For us, not too bad right now. So we're expecting some light rain to start to move in here later. It's 69 degrees in Providence. Winds are out of the northeast at 6 miles an hour. As you can see behind me, you can't really see a thing with that visibility being very much limited right now. So here's a look at those temperatures as you're waking up or maybe heading out the door, going to the parade. We dropped down a degree or two as the sun came up, but staying at about 69 and 70 degrees around the area. So not too bad, but very muggy outside. So we have this low pressure system that's going to be sitting over us. That's kind of helping generate some of these storms. It's got to get past us. So once it does, we do start to clear up into tomorrow. But for today, unfortunately, we're going to have some rain that's going to move through, a couple of embedded thunderstorms that'll pop into the area. And then by the time we get into the afternoon, we'll have another round that's going to move through. So we'll get a nice break, and then mid-afternoon, we'll get another round that's going to sweep through the area. And again, that's going to bring some of those thunderstorms to the area, and that'll push on across. Now, by the time the sun goes down, we're expecting this to really start to clear up and dwindle down. Could catch a couple of little spotty little showers passing through that's left over, but really it looks like it's going to be mostly dry after 8 o'clock tonight. So for our severe risk for today, mostly we're looking at heavy downpours that's going to be moving along with this. Most of the gusty winds are going to stay much to the north, but we could see a couple of those quickly move through just with a couple of those thunderstorms as they pass. But for today, if you're heading out, dress comfortable because it's going to be hot and humid all day long and into the evening hours. So be prepared for that. Beach and Bay forecast 77 degrees. UV index not too bad for today. Tomorrow will be much higher, but waves and swells about 2 to 3 feet. And we're looking at those water temperatures pushing around 70 degrees. So the next high tide is going to be coming in at 9:02 a.m. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. For today, we'll be in those low 80s with those scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. Humid today. Tomorrow we're clearing up. We're going to be mostly sunny. We'll be reaching those temperatures 87 degrees. By the time we get into Thursday, it's going to be pretty hot and humid. We're looking at those upper 80s with the sun and clouds around. But then by the time we get to the weekend, that's when we have more
to your local VFW because you're never alone. Here's ABC 6 meteorologist Skylar Spindler with your forecast.
Well, the visibility is the biggest concern this morning. If you're heading out the door to go maybe catch a parade this morning, give yourself a little extra time to get there because we're looking at no visibility around Newport, even up through Pawtucket, across over to New Bedford, a quarter of a mile. So anywhere across, zigzagging across our area, you can just see the visibility being quite limited this morning. So radar right now, not really anything popping up in our area. Most of it's just staying north of the Mass Turnpike, but we're expecting some of these light rain showers to start to move in later on this morning. So the lighter green, lighter areas, some sprinkles you'll catch, some of these darker areas being those heavier downpours at times. So just expect just some of those rain showers to be moving through. We're going to get a clearing around lunchtime, so you can kind of see a nice little clearing here, though it's going to be exiting off towards the Cape. But then we got another line back here that's going to start to work its way through the area in the afternoon time. Now, these will have more of your thunderstorms embedded into them because we have that afternoon heating. So as that starts to move across the area, we're expecting these to fizzle out and die down by the time we head into the evening hours. So once the sun goes down, we're going to be left with mostly just some cloudy skies and a couple little sprinkles here and there. So for today, we'll be in those low 80s with those scattered thunderstorms. For tomorrow, going to be much nicer. We're clearing up. We're going to see mostly sunny skies, 87. It's going to be muggy and hot by the time we get into Thursday as well. So 89 degrees, some sun and clouds. We're going to see the next round of rain start to pop into the area by Saturday.
Skylar, thank you. It's 6:28. Still to come on Good Morning Providence. Our special coverage of the Bristol 4th of July parade continues. Next, we'll check in with the local police on the much different approach.
You know, the visibility is quite limited outside this morning. So if you are headed out the door, maybe heading out to the parade this morning, give yourself a little bit of extra time on the roads. We're looking at no visibility from Newport up towards Providence, a quarter of a mile, and then up to Pawtucket, no visibility there. But most of Rhode Island looking at less than a mile of visibility, and even across to New Bedford area, about a quarter of a mile visibility. So you can kind of see here, most of us really struggling with that fog that's lying around the area. So on the loop over the last couple hours, we had some rain that moved through the area, most of the storm staying to the north of us. But on the radar right now, for what we're seeing is we're just seeing some line of shower activity just north of the Mass Turnpike. For us, nothing on radar yet. But for today, what we're watching, we have a flood watch in effect for the area throughout the day. That's just because we are so saturated from all this rain that we've had lately. So we've got more thunderstorms, more rain showers moving through the area, and that means we'll have some heavy downpours at times, and that will leave those roadways with more extra water on it. So the ponding on the roads could be a big issue today. So if you get caught in a downpour, give yourself a little time as well throughout the day today. Right now, outside, can't see a thing. 69 degrees in Providence. Winds are out of the northeast at about 6 miles an hour. Most of the temperatures around the area are in those upper 60s and some 70s right now as you're waking up or getting out the door. It's muggy as well outside, so humid and muggy, and that's going to be throughout the day today. So expect those scattered thunderstorms throughout much of our afternoon, though they do start to dwindle down and die off as the sun sets. But we'll keep the temperatures in the upper 70s and some low 80s around the area. I'm going to have more details on your New Bedford 4-day forecast coming up here in just a moment.
All right, Skylar, thank you. At 6:33. Now to our special coverage of the Bristol 4th of July parade. I can already feel it as we woke up this morning. What's in store for the rest of the day?
Yeah, I mean, the fog is really the biggest thing right now, and then we got those storms moving in later on today. So a little bit of everything going on outside as we head through today. So visibility is our biggest concern in some of these areas. So you can kind of see on that sky cam just a minute ago, it's just very foggy around the area. So some limited visibility in some spots. So we're looking at about no visibility around Newport. So just if you're heading anywhere this morning, maybe to the parade, just give yourself a little extra time just in case you run into some of that fog, especially in lower lying areas. You might catch more fog than other places. So satellite radar over the last couple hours, we had some rain showers that moved through the area. And now we're just left with some really to the north of us. So not really anything popping up yet, but you kind of see behind me, there's some more that's going to start to make its way into our area. So we're expecting those rain showers to really start to approach the area this morning. So Newport's sitting at 69 degrees. Winds are pretty calm outside, and that's why there's so much fog lying over the area. So as we get into later on this morning, we'll catch some of these rain showers, some light showers here and there. Really the heavier stuff is going to come in the afternoon time. So we could catch a couple of downpours here and there in isolated places, but mostly just some light rain through the morning hours. And then we'll get this clearing as we head around lunchtime. But then behind it, we got another pop that's going to move through, and that's going to be a little bit heavier as we get into the afternoon. That's because we have a little bit of afternoon heating, and we'll get a little bit of that heat. So we'll have some more downpours and some rumbles of thunder as those storms start to roll through. But by the time the sun goes down, we're expecting that to just dwindle off and die down. Might be left with a couple of little scattered spotty showers here and there, but those mostly be those light sprinkles. So temperature wise for today, we'll be in the upper 70s and some low 80s around the area. It's going to be very humid for today, so dress appropriately and accordingly if you're going to be outdoors today, because it's just going to be sticky and yucky. So for today, just expect those scattered storms. New Bedford 79 degrees, and for tomorrow still about 79 degrees, but you'll be mostly sunny, and again it's just going to be humid for the next couple of days. But once we get past today, you're looking pretty good for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to have more details in your 7-day forecast coming up here in just a moment.
All right, Skylar, thank you. At 6:42, still to come on Good Morning Providence.
Gloomy over in Westerly right now. So here's a look at what that visibility is. They're 3/4 of a mile in Westerly. So if you are heading anywhere across Rhode Island, you have some of those visibility concerns with those low-lying clouds and fog around the area. So just give yourself a little time this morning if you're heading out to a parade this morning. Here's a look at the radar right now. So most of the shower activity is much further to the north of us, but we do have some stuff that's on the radar behind me here, and that's going to start to make its way across the area. So as that starts to move in, we'll expect some of those showers to pick up later on. So temperatures this morning, most of us are sitting in those upper 60s and 70-degree temperatures, but it is muggy, so it feels sticky outside. So we do have this low pressure system here at the surface that's right over us, and that's going to help generate some of these shower activity as we head into the morning time. So as we get in the next couple hours, we'll get some light showers. We'll keep all those clouds around. It's going to be a little gloomy looking outside. And it's going to be very humid as well. By the time we get into about lunchtime, we're going to see some clearing a bit through the area. We got another line just behind it here, and that's going to make its way across the area. These will end up being a little more heavier, so we'll catch those heavier downpours and catch some rumbles of thunder with these thunderstorms that'll pop through the area. Now, again, we'll get the clearing behind it. Once we get to about the 7-8 o'clock hour, we start to clear out, and that's some good news. We might be left with a couple little spotty showers here and there, but that's really what we're looking at heading into the evening. So after 8 o'clock, we're looking to be pretty clear. But for the day, we're looking at some of those heavier downpours. And that's just because we've got that saturated ground. So we could have some flooding in some areas. So just watch out on the roadways if you're out and about heading home or just heading to an activity or an event. If you get caught in one of those downpours, just use some caution. We could see some gusty winds with this as well. And we're not really worried too much about the hail. But comfort index today, it's going to be hot and humid, so dress appropriately if you're heading out the door. It's just going to be sticky all day long today and actually throughout the rest of our week. So here's a look at our beach and bay forecast for today. 77 degrees. Again, we got those thunderstorms moving through the area at times, so just be aware of that. Temperature in the water close to 70 degrees, and that high tide's coming in at 9:02 a.m. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. So for today, we'll be about 81 degrees, scattered thunderstorms and showers throughout the day, but good news, we start to clear up in the evening hours. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, warming up. It's going to be pretty muggy and hot for tomorrow and Thursday into Friday, and then that next round of thunderstorms, isolated showers starts to move in on Saturday.
All right, Skylar, thank you. Coastal towns are deploying new tech forecast. Here's Skylar.
Yeah, the visibility is the biggest concern this morning if you're headed out the door, maybe heading to the parade. So you can kind of see here on the map just how limited the visibility is in some of those areas. So just give yourself some more time this morning. Radar, not much on the radar, just some stuff to the south of us. And then you can kind of see up north of the turnpike that there's a little bit of something. But as we head through the day today, we'll catch some of these light showers that'll move through this morning. So we'll time it out for you. We'll have some heavier activity that starts to move in the afternoon. These will have more of our thunderstorms that'll pop into the area. So we'll get a little bit of clearing in the afternoon, but then we have this round that's going to start to make its way through the area. So we expect that to be 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. By the time we get into the 8 o'clock hour, when the sun goes down, that's when we're really looking at clearing up. So fingers crossed this holds out. We could catch a little spotty shower here and there, but so far evening's looking pretty good for this 4th of July. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Today will be about 81 degrees. It's going to be humid, so dress accordingly if you're going to be outdoors today. It's going to be muggy and hot. Same thing for tomorrow, except we're clearing up and we'll be mostly sunny for tomorrow, 87, and then 89 by Thursday.
And that's all for now. Good Morning America is coming up next. Be sure to join us for ABC